Good afternoon, my name is Paul. My colleagues and I would like to demonstrate to you the app that we've been working on remotely for the last 3 weeks. The team consists of myself, Vanessa, Philippa and Justin. The app is called MovieMapStar, and the idea behind it came from an article in which some students had planned their entire world trip based around their favourite filming locations. The purpose of our app was to help a user create a route based on their favourite filming locations, take pictures there, share them with friends, and then review the locations that they visited along the way. The app itself gave us an opportunity to work with AWS, Google Maps and the camera, and some other technologies that we'd not had experience of using through the course. I'm now going to hand you over to Philippa, who's going to show you a brief demonstration of how the app works.
Hi, I'm Philippa and I'm going to be talking you through a demo of our app. So I'm going to sign in as a registered user. And the first page that the user is taken to is their profile page, where they see their avatar, their favourite films which they selected when they signed up, and any badges they may have earned. I'm going to head straight over to the map. And here the user can view any film that was filmed in the UK and see where those filming locations are. Now, the first marker that's rendered on the map is the user's location, and I'm going to look for Harry Potter films. And I'm going to click Find. So on the map, we see all the Harry Potter locations filmed in the UK. And because we're based in the north, let's have a look at some of those northern locations. If I click on this one, that is in Alnwick. We're given the address and also the option to select the destination. So before I do select it, I want to find out what scene exactly was filmed in Alnwick. So I'm going to click on View Movie Information, and then scroll down to the bottom to show it there. So Alnwick Castle is that location, and the scene that was filmed there were the broomstick flying lessons. Lovely jubbly, let's head there. So I click Select Destination, and there we have the route rendered on the map from my current location, and we can also see the text directions giving me instructions on how to get there. I'm going to hide those and hide the movie information. Now, as you can see, there are several other locations that would be on my way to Alnwick. I'm going to select this one just here. Goatland, okie dokie, I want to just see what was filmed in Goatland so I can show the movie information. And that looks like, Goatland Station, Hogsmeade Station is what was filmed there. Lovely. So I'm going to add that as a stop, and we can see that the route line has changed on the map. Now, we wanted to make this app a little bit more interactive, so if we head over to the camera, we chose to add this functionality so that when users arrived at their destination, they would be able to take a photo of what they saw, but also to be able to reenact a scene and take pictures and have that stored in the gallery. So even though I haven't travelled all the way to Alnwick or anywhere, I'm going to pretend and I'm going to take a picture of my back garden. And when I have taken this picture, this will be added to my gallery, which I can have a look through. So my previous location pictures are rendered there. As you can see, I have been very busy, and so are the images that I have just taken. There we go. I'm now going to pass you over to Justin and Vanessa, who are going to talk you through our tech stack.
Hi, my name is Justin. I'm going to be telling you a bit about the backend technologies that we used for our project. So AWS was the main choice of everyone. It's quite exciting, it was challenging, and it offered some really good features that we used throughout our app. The AWS features that we used were API Gateway, Lambda functions, DynamoDB, S3 and Cognito. So API Gateway, that allowed us to create the API with multiple endpoints and sort of work towards an MVC pattern. We used DynamoDB, which is a great database. It's a NoSQL database. It's really flexible and it was really easy to use and really helped us with planning. It also interacts well with Lambda functions. So Lambda functions, you can have integrated testing. So when you do a web request, an API request, the data that comes through needs to meet a certain criteria, and that was great because it made sure that whatever the app was doing, it was functioning well with our database and database tables. We used S3 for the images, so the user would go to a movie location and take a bunch of photos. It would have a gallery, and S3 was great for this. It was just easy to access, and the data came back quickly. We used Cognito, so Cognito has the authentication side to it. It allowed us to verify users, so you'd sign up, an email would get sent to your email account and you'd have to verify it. It allowed us to handle the login really well and securely, so that was good. And lastly, the Lambda functions, it was there to manage API requests, and again the integrated testing was really good. It just made sure that everything functioned well with our database. So how this app would work from a technical point, a new user would be required to sign up with a username, their name, password and email. On sign up, Cognito would send an email to their personal account, just trying to verify that the email exists. Once this comes through, on sign up, an event, the Lambda function is actually triggered, and a new user is created in DynamoDB and a new profile is created. The user can then sign in. Once you've signed in, their interactions with the database are sort of carried out by Axios requests to trigger Lambda functions to update your profile, to delete something in your profile, or to fetch your profile, to fetch your movie preferences, to change your movie preferences. The next bit really is the images. So when a user selects the camera feature, because we created a progressive web app, we had a bit of a problem. So we couldn't use the S3 features as they are. We had to use HTML5 camera method, which allowed us to use a desktop camera. So what that means is that now when a user does use the camera, we create a base64 file. So the image is a base64 file, and then that gets processed up to S3. When you want to go into gallery, we then invoke a function that calls the S3 bucket by the username and returns all the images into a gallery, and you can go and see what you've been up to.
I'm Vanessa, and I'm going to be talking about the front-end side of our project. Considering what we had envisioned, an interface that would allow a user to plan a route based on a movie's filming locations, we knew our choice of framework had to fall upon something that was reliable, that would allow for a certain degree of complexity while still being responsive, and that would allow us to create a dynamic user experience. For these reasons, we decided to use React. As far as design goes, we decided to go with Material UI since this interface library is stacked with React components, so we thought it would be a nice fit for our project. Both a visual and a functional element at the center of our app. The map was created using GoogleMaps API, and then we used some logic on the back end to build a bridge between the GoogleMaps API and the information we wanted to get from the Internet Movies Database API we were using, so as to display the information for the user on the map.
One of the issues we faced during production was the amount of technical documentation we had to read. None of the group had used Google Maps API or AWS before, so this was initially quite intimidating. However, it quickly became apparent the potential of both, and both were eventually used in the final app. Remote working was also quite challenging due to connection speeds at busy parts of the day. We decided as a team to have our stand-up sessions very early in the morning and in the late afternoon. We also had a Kanban board, which helped us stay focused and keep track of any outstanding tasks. We also use VS Live Share to pair code whenever possible.
Despite our initial planning, there were some user stories that we were not able to include in our project at this point. Nonetheless, we did keep a record of the elements we would wish to include had we had time. Some of these elements are an Around Me feature, so as to show movie locations around the user's location, which we could not do at this point due to some limitations in the API we were using. Another future feature we would like to include would be to not only use the user's location to show him locations around him, but also locations that are relevant to the user by making use of the information in his profile, such as movie genres that the user prefers. One of our last topics was to add social elements to our app, such as the ability to be able to rate a photo or a location and allow users to interact with each other in that way.
That's the end of our presentation. If you've got any questions, we'll be answering them in the chat.